Hey, what up, guys? Coming to you with another What's Next. This is on Jorge Linares, former 3-division world champion. He's currently my number 3 fighter in the 135-pound lightweight division. Linares last fought in, I believe it was February. Yeah, he fought on Valentine's Day when he shared the card with Ryan Garcia, and he took on veteran, little-known veteran, Carlos Morales, but always the game, Carlos Morales. And he absolutely fucking dominated Morales. Stopped him in only 4 rounds of that fight. Impressive knockout win as he returned to the 135-pound division officially. That was to set up a big-time fight with Ryan Garcia next, is what the projection is. That's what people are saying. That him and Ryan Garcia are gonna be colliding next for the in a what would likely be a WBC, some kind of a WBC eliminator. We don't know exactly what ranking that's the winner is going to hold, but that looks to be the next thing that Linares is doing next. But we don't know for sure. But it looks like July was the projected date originally when these guys were gonna throw down. Now like again, we just aren't 100% on what exactly these two guys are gonna do if they're gonna fight. But I personally feel they are gonna fight each other, and it is gonna go down. And if it does, I honestly think Linares is gonna lose and gonna get knocked out in this one. Ryan Garcia is young, he's fresh, he's hungry, he hits hard. Linares maybe can surprise some people and find a fountain of youth. I mean, the guy's always been ultra talented, but can he beat a guy this young and this fast and this this aggressive? We gotta wait and see. But just in case this fight doesn't happen, actually no, I believe the fight is gonna happen. I'm gonna say it is happening for sure. So let's say he pulls off the upset, Linares does, and because he is the veteran, he is coming in, he still is a top 3 fighter here at 135. So let's say he pulls off the upset. After that, what's next for Jorge Linares in the lightweight division? We start with a rematch with unified champion Vasily Lomachenko, which would be for the unified world title. If he beats Ryan Garcia, I wouldn't completely rule this fight out, because Lomachenko's not interested in doing having making mandatories anymore. I mean, because I think he really just doesn't care about being undisputed anymore. He's gonna unify titles with Teofimo Lopez. I believe he beats Lopez considerably, and if Linares were to pull off the upset, I could see a rematch between these two. For sure. I think Linares putting Lomachenko down for the only time in his career really pissed Lomachenko off. Even though he knocked him out that night, I think he would love to fight him again. He'd probably have to give up the IBF title to do that, but he'd still hold on to at least the WBA title at 135, and I wouldn't be surprised if he fought him again. So I think the fight's possible if Linares were to beat Ryan Garcia for sure. Number 2 is Teofimo Lopez. I don't see this fight happening either way. If Lopez loses to Lomachenko and Linares were to beat Garcia, I don't think it happens, because they're rival companies. Plus, it's Top Rank working with Golden Boy. And then also, Lopez is supposed to be moving up to 135 in his next fight. So, to 140. Either way, he says he's moving up. He says he's going to win, but I think win or lose, he's moving up to 140 because he's been having trouble making weight. So, that's what I believe Teofimo Lopez is going to do no matter what. So I think him and Linares, there's no chance here of those two guys locking horns. Number 3 is Linares. Number 4 is a rematch with former 2-time world title challenger Luke Campbell. If Linares were to pull off the upset here and Campbell doesn't walk away as the new mandatory number 1 contender, and he moves up in weight, I wouldn't be surprised if these two guys locked horns. But I'm leaning towards the less likely, even though they're both the zone guys. I really think Campbell's going to beat beat Javier Fortuna and be in line for Devin Haney. But even if he were to lose, I think he's going to 140. Lose to Javier Fortuna, I think he's going to 140 next. And Linares, even if he wins at 135, he's probably got to stay at 135. I think he learned his lesson about moving up to 140, so I don't see this one. Number 5 is undefeated WBA regular champion Gervonta Davis. I'm not seeing this one. Rival, this is Golden Boy, would have to work with the PBC and Mayweather Promotions, and I don't see that happening at all. Number 6, former champion Richard Comey. Wouldn't completely rule it out, but I think Linares Top Rank and Golden Boy coming together for this one. Unless it's a mandatory fight, I don't think it can happen, and I don't believe it would be a mandatory fight. Number 7 is Javier Fortuna. I don't think it happens either way. Fortuna is fighting Luke Campbell next. I think he's going to lose. But even if he were to win, he's in line for Devin Haney. If he were to lose, he's with PBC, working with Golden Boy. Just not going to happen. Number 8 is Ivan Mendy. Excuse me. Now, this fight I think would be possible because Mendy's in the WBC rankings with Linares. They're both in the WBC rankings, so I could see Linares and Mendy facing off while Linares waited around for a mandatory title shot, because Devin Haney's going to make an optional defense. Then he's going to fight the winner of Campbell and Fortuna for the interim title. That's at the end of the year, early next year. If Linares beats Garcia, then he's probably looking at a showdown with whoever comes out when the smoke clears from that, and he would have to wait around for an extra fight. So I think him and Mendy would make a lot of sense to be the final mandatory to determine the new number 1 contender against Devin Haney or Luke Campbell, whoever comes out of that. So, yeah, I think that's the only way. I think him and Mendy could be possible after Garcia if he beats Garcia. Number 9 is Lee Selby. Not going to happen. Selby's fighting in an IBF mandatory final eliminator. If he wins, he's fighting for the IBF title next. If he loses, I doubt he would want to face somebody like Linares if Linares beat Ryan Garcia, so I don't see it. And then number 10 is Ricky Burns. Here's another guy that I think Linares would come together with to stay busy. If he beats Garcia, to stay busy waiting around for a world title shot. I think Ricky Burns would make a lot of sense. So, Linares, I do think he stands a chance against Ryan Garcia because Garcia's never been in a ring with anybody with the skills of Jorge Linares. But the question is can he keep Ryan Garcia off of him for 12 rounds to pull off this win, or can he hurt Garcia and put him away? That's the big question right there. I don't know. I'm leaning towards the less likely. I think Garcia is talented. He's young and he's hungry, and I think he's ready to make a splash. And Jorge Linares is a perfect opponent for him because the one thing about Linares, he doesn't pack a big punch, and he can't take a huge punch. So, but if he lands a clean combination, yeah, it could happen. So we'll see. But that's it. He's got to get the win, though. And if he doesn't, I honestly think Jorge Linares, we could see him retiring. So we'll see what happens. Stay tuned for his fight with Ryan Garcia next. It will be on DAZN. It was supposed to take place in July. We don't know exactly when. That's Jorge Linares, my number 3 lightweight in the world. I hope you enjoyed it. True Boxing, you've been hit with the truth.